kind of thing. So we have a couple of things on the game that you're going to walk around and ask your new fellow CBOBers to learn a little bit more about them and about our program as well. And if you'd like, we can do 2 teams. If you guys think that's good, a virtual team and an in-person team, and kind of compare to see what we can get to from the virtual group and the online group as well.
Sounds good. Just whenever we start, you guys mute yourselves so that we'll be able to talk.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we can, while Andrea is sending the link, I can go ahead and get started with them here. And
yeah. Well, I already sent it to the email that everyone got for orientation.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so if you guys can just, the virtual group will log on. We're going to do it here in person. We're going to take about 5 to 8 minutes to do that. Is that good? Is that enough time, Tati?
Yep. 5 to 8 minutes.
Okay, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start off. Or how are we gonna do this?
Here, I'll call it out. Give me one moment.
I have it open if you want me to call it out.
Mm-hmm.
First one is a returning intern. So you can put it if you are one.
Wait,
Do we have to say something here, though?
Huh? How are we doing this? Do we have to
click on the link that's on the chat, guys, and you
You're
get your
trying
own
to
bingo
get
card.
a bingo. So
If you click on the link on the chat, you get your own bingo card.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
But do you want us to still say it out loud, like, oh, me, or no?
You can,
Okay.
so that we learn a little bit about each other.
Yeah, so you're gonna be flipping back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Did everyone open it up? Okay. So we'll go in a random order then. So a hard one. Knows all 5 CBOB programs. And do you guys know them? Someone want to say them? Returning interns, you can jump in.
IMC Bob, VIP program, Children Within Our Borders. Then we have the scholarship. And then we have, which one did I miss?
Did you say yours?
VIP.
No.
Oh, VIP. I was like, I'm missing an obvious one.
I was like, did she really not start with that?
It's too obvious for me.
First strike.
So we have the Bound for Peace program, the VIP program, Children Within Our Borders program, the IMC Bob Scholarship program, and the student chapters. That's the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was born in Gainesville. Who was born in Gainesville? Not me. Born in Miami.
Not Shayna. Why would you put that?
Nobody? Okay. Next. Can play a musical instrument.
I can.
Hell no.
I used to. I don't know if that counts.
No.
Watches Game of Thrones.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Who has more than 4 siblings?
I have 4 if you count my parents' dog. I have 3 brothers and a dog brother.
I have 1 brother. No, not even close. Can speak another language.
I can.
Woo! I speak Spanish. can whistle. I cannot whistle for my life.
I can whistle.
Sort of whistle. I get through like the first tiny part of a song, and that's it. Is a transfer student. Nobody? Can name the president of CBOB.
Lipkin!
Does anybody know his first name?
Lipkin.
John?
John.
Yay! It was on your quiz.
John Lipkin.
Yeah.
Bingo!
Oh, same. Bingo.
Yay. All right, we'll keep going just for fun, but you guys got it. Likes very spicy food, not me
Mm-mm.
at all. Likes to cook. Yeah,
I do.
I like to bake, not cook.
Yeah.
Likes to sing. Nope.
I mean, I love to sing. But
I mean, I like to sing, but I don't think the people around me like it. It's a senior. No, not anymore.
Let me see.
Graduate.
Tati, slide those graduation pictures over.
Was born in May, not me. August baby.
I was.
oh yeah, honey.
Yay.
Bingo.
Happy early birthday to everybody. Early. Okay, so we're done.
Did you say your birthday was in August?
My birthday's in August, yeah.
Mine too.
When?
August 8th.
Oh, mine's 14th.
Kind of close.
All right.
Should we say our names? I feel like I know a lot about people, but not their names.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking at the names with, like, on their little hangout person. Yep, we can go around and say names if you want to say, like, your major or something like that. Basics, whatever.
Where do we start?
Anywhere. Doesn't matter. Go for it.
I can start. My name is Bao. I go to UCF and my major is psychology.
Okay, I'll go next. My name is Karen. I go to UCF too, and my major is social science.
My name's Liana. I go to UF and I just applied for the nursing program, so hopefully that's the major.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm Tara, and I go to UF, and I'm a graphic design major.
My name is Tegan. I also go to UF, and I'm majoring in sociology and family, youth, and community sciences.
I'm Samira. I'm a senior at UF, and I'm majoring in sociology and business administration.
Well, I guess the supervisor, you can go too. I'm Tati. I'm the one that's been emailing you a million times. I went to UF. I just graduated with my bachelor's in health education. And yeah.
My name's Juanita. I'm the director of the service trip program, Bound for Peace. So I work with Samira, and we just added Carolina to our team. I did my bachelor's in psychology at UF, and I'm very soon, turned in my last paper today, graduating with my master's in education.
From where?
Harvard. So obnoxious. I go to Harvard. Fun
So
fact.
obnoxious, for real.
Andrea,
Yes.
your turn.
My name's Andrea. I'm super old, so I don't have a major. And well, I did go to UF for undergrad. I did my master's at UCF. And I'm the executive director. And I'm very happy to be here.
Cool.
Yeah.
And she's doing her PhD this year.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You guys are crazy.
You guys ready at UF? Okay, Candy. the perks of being with everybody over there.
Hi, we're
Live.
back. She can't hear us.
Yay.
Hello?
I can hear you.
She's
Yep.
still muted too, maybe? No.
No.
Oh, awesome. I didn't say anything bad, right?
Okay. So now I'm going to share my screen with all of you guys so we can get started on orientation.
While she does that, I just want to give a few points. Please take notes, okay? We will baby you in your positions for a very little while. A lot of information will be found today, okay? Please take notes when you hear something that relates to your position. For all of you that skipped over the wonderful videos that we put together in training, because I know some of y'all did, I will ask you to go back to them because there's a lot of things that we're going to ask you and expect you to know if you watch those videos. So if you get assigned a blog and you're like, I don't know how to post a blog, I know that you didn't watch your training. So, you know, if you kind of just went through it really quick, I strongly urge you to go back, and even if you can't watch it, at least know where you can find it, so when you get assigned all those tasks, you know where it is, okay? And take notes for today and ask all your questions. We do want you to succeed in the internship. We do want you to do well, but you also have to put your commitment, okay? Cool?
Okay, so before we get started, until we get to the checkpoint, let's all, and everyone that's not me, mute yourself. If you have something to say, that's fine. Just unmute yourself and talk. It's just going to be a lot easier for everyone to hear that way. Okay?
If it's something really, really pertinent, I'll be watching the group me. So, but you should not have your phones out. But if you do, you can use it because I know the Google Hangouts, you can use the chat. That's what I'm saying. Okay? If you have any of those questions.
Yes. Please, guys, if you have your computers or your phones, anything, use it only for those purposes. We're going to go through a lot of information today, and it's going to be much more beneficial to you to pay attention for this hour than to have questions throughout the internship that were already answered. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. We normally start just going over the orientation clearance assessment, but you guys did pretty well on them. I would say if you got any 80 or lower, look through the email that is sent to you with the answers. Go through it, understand why you got the ones wrong that you did. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. But a lot of you got like a 93 or 100. So, and for the whole orientation, I'm not going to read through a lot of this, so I would suggest reading it on your own time. But just some background information for all of you. CBOB was started at the University of Florida as a student chapter at the University of Florida, and then from there, it was actually started by a bunch of UF students that wanted to give back to their home country of Colombia, and from there we have expanded quite a lot, but that is where it started, and you guys, I hope, should all know our mission, but if not, definitely go into our website, go in here, look it over, and you don't need to know it word by word, but if someone asks you, oh, you work for CBOB, what is it about? This is the perfect sentence to give them. And if you know just the gist of it, that's enough. Okay? So you guys should all know this because we reviewed it again, but I want you guys to know this like the back of your hand. So whoever wants to say it, unmute yourself, preferably not returning interns, because we just talked about this, but what are the 5 CBOB programs? Unmute yourself and give the answer.
Yep. Children Within Our Borders, IMC, Scholars, the student chapters, VIP. Student chapters, and then we have boundaries.
Okay. Perfect. So here we're going to talk about each of the programs that we have. Like we've said, we have 5 programs. The service trips are the trips that go abroad. It was formerly known as Crossing Borders. If you see that anywhere on your drive, it's talking about the Bound for Peace trips. and we go to Colombia, Nicaragua, and Ecuador. Depending on the year, we go to different cities, and sometimes we'll go to all 3 of the countries. Juanita, do you want to add anything about BFP?
No, you hit the nail on the head. Basically, what we do is we facilitate workshops with young people about not so much like teaching education, like core topics, but more like self-care, self-esteem, bullying, and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Then here we have our IMCBOB scholars. So this one you might not be as well versed in, but we have a scholarship program that we pay for tuition, transportation, sometimes meals, and anything that they need for to do workshops with the girls that we work with at a foundation in Colombia. We fund all of that through their scholarship, and those are 4 of the 4 current scholars, because our 5th scholar just graduated on May 5th. So he was our first IMCBOB graduate, and we are going to be adding more IMCBOB scholars. But a lot of them have sponsors and will be getting mentors, but a good part of our fundraising initiatives are to fund their scholarships and continue to provide an education for them, which is the core of our mission. Then we have one of our newest sort of program, the Children Within Our Borders program. So that is our local initiatives. We started going abroad and had been going abroad for many years, but now in the recent about 2 years, we've started with Children Within Our Borders because we saw the need in our local communities. As of now, we have Children Within Our Borders in Orlando and in Gainesville. I highly, highly recommend, and I know returning interns will reiterate this, to go to the CWOP workshops. It will be one of your required socials, but I would recommend, if you can make it out to the one in May or any sooner, I would definitely recommend it. You have a hands-on experience and see firsthand why we have our fundraisers, why you're doing all the work that you're doing, why you're posting that blog. It really brings everything full circle, and you understand why we're putting in all this work. Okay? But we do workshops with them in our local communities, just like pretty similar to the topics that we do abroad. And we normally have a workshop every month, and then we've also added tutoring, but tutoring will start to dwindle after the school year ends, but we still have tutoring right now. And then we have our student chapters. We have the University of Florida, Florida State University, University of Central Florida. We also have a high school in Gainesville, Eastside High School. They were pretty much inactive last year, but we're hoping to start them back up this coming fall. And we are working to start a chapter at Florida International University, but it is not official. So on the books, we only have 4 student chapters. So those were 4 of our 5 programs. But the most important thing to get out of this slide is, if you see these names, if someone asks you about them, just know that right now they are inactive. Empowerment Through English Initiative was active during the spring. We had 2 EEI teachers abroad teaching the girls English, working with the scholars, doing interviews to get new scholars. So it was active, but it will not be active this summer. So if you get contacted for any reason or see any of this on your drive, just be aware that these programs are inactive. Nuevos Horizontes, or New Horizons, was a program that a lot of our scholars came from. So it is important for you to know what that is, in terms of just where our scholars came from, where we met them and decided to make them our IMCBOB scholars and to sponsor them. But it's not active right now. That's really all you need to know. Next one is where you guys come in, our volunteer internship program. There's going to be a lot of different things you're going to learn here. I can tell you from my experience, what I've probably gained the most is professional development. There are a lot of skills that I will apply to my career, but professional development, I believe you can apply to any field. So whether you're a PR intern or a grant writer or a graphic designer, I believe you're still going to get that professional development. You're going to be well versed on how to be professional in meetings, how to sell CBOB to somebody. I can almost guarantee you're going to get someone asking you, what is CBOB? Why should I get involved in CBOB? Or maybe you'll be like some of our many past interns and current interns and supervisors that go out of their way and tell someone, hey, I think this internship would be great for you. You should really consider it. I love it so much, etc. But just a few of the things that you'll probably learn is leadership, technology in the nonprofit world, working hands-on in an international nonprofit organization, and also civic engagement. That's just a few of the things you're going to learn. So now we're going to go further into depth about the volunteer internship program, since that is obviously what you guys are here for. So this is a breakdown of basically the volunteer internship program, and for you to understand also who your supervisors are, and if for whatever reason you have an issue, know also who their supervisors are. So Andrea, she introduced herself to some of us when we were doing the game. She is the executive director. Right under her is myself, the operations director, and Juanita, the service trip director. And then under Juanita, you have the training coordinator and data and analytics. And then under me, you have all of those positions. But there are some positions, as you can see, that are also in roles that are supervisors. So the student chapter coordinator is the supervisor of the campus communications liaisons, which this semester we have one for FSU and UF. And then the development director and creative director we do not have at this time. So Andrea Ortega, the executive director, will be the supervisor for the fundraising team until we get a development director. And then I will be the supervisor for graphic design until we get a creative director. And the volunteer coordinator is Shayna, which is over there at UF with all of you guys. And she supervises the community outreach positions across both Orlando and Gainesville. Any questions about that?
No, but I'd just like to add, this wonderful chart is it's very much for, like she said, the organization part, but I believe it when I say I make flyers, I paint with the kids. We are always helping each other out in all different fields, and there is no position too little or too big for us. So while this is a great way for you to see maybe how it's been structured, you should never be afraid of coming to any director or any other position to help you with your tasks, because we're very, very teamwork oriented. And me, Tati, and Juanita, and Shayna, we take a lot of pride in being able to help you and showing you the ropes.
Yes, our supervisor team, we have been in this supervisor role or involved in VIP or CBOB for multiple semesters, if not multiple years. So we're definitely well versed in what CBOB is, but we're also accustomed to how we do things. So sometimes we might think this is how we're going to do it, and you might come with a brand new idea that's better than anything we've done before or that we had thought of ourselves. So we're always open to new ideas, to trying different things. To give you guys an example, I had an intern last semester tell me, hey, I think it'd be a really good idea if we created a separate page for some of our programs. And I was like, wow, we hadn't really thought of that, and we hadn't really been interested in doing that before, but it's a good point, and we're working on it right now. So your ideas can come completely to life in some capacity if you bring them to us and we see that there's a way to make it happen. If we have to tweak it a little bit, that might happen, But in general, we're always super open to any new ideas, any recommendations to improve our programs. A lot of this is we try things. If they work, great. If they don't, we try something else. There isn't like a handbook on how to run CWAB because we created CWAB. You know, so you have to kind of write your own rule book, so to speak. So we're just, bottom line, we're always open to new ideas. These are your job descriptions. I'm sure you guys all saw the document with all of your job descriptions, but if you want to look at them again, or I would recommend also looking at people that you will be working with, what their position description is, feel free. These will link you directly to each of the positions, or you can always go to that positions document that was on our website. Okay, here's probably where you might want to start taking notes if you haven't already. So meetings, you will have weekly meetings with your team and your supervisor. What that means is anyone that holds the same position as you do. So if you're Community Outreach UCF, you're meeting with Community Outreach UCF, Community Outreach UF, and Shayna, your supervisor. So you will have a weekly meeting with your supervisor. They're typically half an hour. Some positions are different. I can say PR, at least at the beginning, tends to go an hour because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of moving parts. So there will be more information on setting this up. Your supervisors will contact you, and there's also tasks about it. So right now we're just going through the breakdown of what each of these things are. So then you also have team biweeklies. So you meet with your designated team. So here's a document. I will send this orientation to you guys, and you will have access to all of this as long as you're using your CBOB email. Just kind of side note, from now on, you should be only using your CBOB email. You should never send an email related to CBOB from your personal account. I know there are some of you that have not received access to your email. It should only be the PR team just because we need to pick categories. But everyone else should have access to their email. If you don't, you need to contact me. These are your teams. It's not necessarily the same thing as what you would have in your weekly meetings. So in your weekly meetings, UF meets with Shayna and UCF meets with Shayna, but then you will have a meeting, both of you together, UF and UCF. I recommend reading that blurb at the top because these meetings can be very beneficial if you use them wisely. If you sit there and just say, hey, yeah, we had an event, so did we did a workshop, so did you, okay, cool. There's no benefit to that whatsoever. If you say what you did, what you thought worked, what you thought didn't work, if you have similar themes, or if they're doing one on self-esteem and you did that 3 workshops ago, or you saw it in the drive, send it over to them. This is a moment to bounce off ideas and be like, hey, I was thinking to do this. Do you think it might be better like to do something else? Like, I want to use paint, but what if it gets all over the kids? Do you have any ideas of something I can use instead? That's the time to go back and forth and bounce back up ideas between your peers. So your supervisors won't join you for these meetings, but your teams are all separated on there. Okay. Then when you have those meetings, you will email us the minutes from your meetings. Please make them relatively detailed. Just put the attendance and information about what you talked about. That way I have caught multiple things on those minutes, noticing a mistake, like they thought that, that they didn't have to get transportation, or that you didn't have, different little things that we might have not talked about or something like that. A lot of times can get caught in the minutes of what you guys discussed. It has to be longer than we met from this time to this time. It should be what you guys talked about, what questions you guys had at the end of your meeting, any conclusions you had, things like that. That way we can help you, because we will read through these and respond. Okay. And besides that, you will have VIP monthly meetings or socials, and these will be in person with the VIP team. I understand that summer is a bit different. Not everyone is going to be at the university. If you are not in Orlando or in Gainesville, we will talk about how you can participate in these events. So this document that was linked at the bottom, it's loading still. So this has the breakdown of all the meetings, and it also kind of shows you how long the internship will be. So weekly meetings, as of now, every single week, there will be a weekly meeting. Change, but never make an assumption that there is no weekly meeting for some reason. Always check with your supervisor before assuming that a meeting has been moved or canceled, which rarely happens. Then going on to team meetings, this is designated. Performance reviews will be explained in a second. But you have a team biweekly, then none. When I put none, it means no team meetings. It doesn't mean no weekly meetings. Okay? And then you guys have a 2-week transition, and around here at the bottom, you will be doing interviews, but don't worry about that for now. Then here you have the monthly socials. You guys should have received information about the retreat that we have in May. If you did not receive any information, please contact me as soon as you can. So this one is mandatory in Orlando or Davenport, but it's basically Orlando. And it will be Saturday, May 20th to Sunday, May 21st. And that one you will have, like, there will be like places to stay, like where it's going to be at a house and you'll be able to stay there. Then June, we have Chipotle fundraisers. As you can see, there's going to be one in Gainesville, one in Orlando. So if you are in one of those cities or close to it, we would expect you to attend. These are mandatory. If you are in like Miami or something like that, we will talk and discuss how you can do something instead. But if you are in Gainesville, I expect you to be there. Why? Because this is a fundraiser for us. If you guys don't know, Chipotle gets 50% of whatever's made it within that time. And it's also for you guys to represent our organization. I obviously would rather that people go and partake in the fundraiser and buy food. But if you, for whatever reason, can't do that, like our objective isn't for you to spend money. If you just go and support CBOB, that's totally fine. And then, like I said, there would be a mandatory COOB event that will be in July, but the dates are not set for that yet. So we will let you know. But as of now, these you will have, these are the ones that are set, but you will have one for every month. Okay? And those are meant for you also to meet all the people that you're working with and to build a stronger team. When you know people and you can just freely text them because you know they have information that you can use in your grant or something like that, the team is going to be a lot stronger and provide and come out with a lot stronger work. So that is the objective of those. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be, you know, team building, just time to be with your CBOB team, and hopefully you will see it as a family soon, but it's not meant to be extra stress or anything like that. So like I mentioned, you guys will have performance reviews. So supervisors will meet with you individually and you will discuss your performance, and including the areas that you're doing really well in and ones that we think that you can do a little better on. Overall, when we did this last semester, interns really appreciated it because it gave them a more concrete vision of what they can do. So we have it in the middle of the semester and at the end of the semester. And the goal is not for you to be perfect in the middle, but rather to see improvement at the end. And at this time, we also encourage you to give us feedback. We are always trying to improve as supervisors to provide a better experience for you. So that's also a time for you to give us your feedback one-on-one, and we can see what we can improve from there. Okay. So that's all the meetings that you're going to have. Do you guys have any questions about that right now? No? Okay. So,
I just want to add something because you're about to get into something very important about the meetings.
mhm.
Guys, this is a virtual internship for most of you. I understand it's unpaid, but your recommendations from us and your reviews and everything is dependent on not so much about how much you know, but how well your professionalism is. We are only requiring 30 minutes a week of your time, okay? These are 30 minutes that you belong to us, that if we had money to pay you in an office, these are the 30 minutes you would come to us, okay? So when she's about to explain what happens when you don't take your weekly serious and when you don't take your biweeklies as well, if there's something that, obviously for emergencies, if let's say an exam was scheduled or something, you already know that when it was scheduled, when you get your syllabus on the first day of the semester, it's your job to let us know ahead of time to reschedule your weeklies. But this is all about how professional you are. Texting us like, hey, what's up? I can't make it is not professional. Usually you would send an email to your supervisor explaining the situation and asking for a reschedule, right? This is for you to get you in the thing, like, I've known Juanita for 4 years, Tati for 3. They're my really good friends, But when it comes down to CBOP stuff, it's really important for you to draw that line. And we are watching. We're watching about how you contact us, how you respond to us, because we want that respect as much as we're going to give you that respect. And that way we can write absolutely wonderful things about you at the end of the semester.
Okay. So the not so fun part, but we've created this miss one, give one protocol because the way we look at it, if you're not at your weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings, you're taking time and work away from CBOB. So we're asking you to give us something in return to basically replace the time you've taken away from us that could have been very productive. So if you miss a meeting, which I will explain what that means in a second, we ask that you do one of the following. So a $25 donation to CBOB from a business or a person. If you want to give the $25 yourself, by all means, but we're not forcing you to do that. You have a month to complete these tasks. You are more than welcome to go to a business, ask for a donation for our next CWAB event, for our gala, whatever, and it will count towards this. We ask that another option is 10 hours of community service with one of our programs. I will tell you, you are going to need to find different events to make this happen. We don't always have a million things going on that will allow you to complete like all of these in one weekend. And we would also ask that you attend 2 CBOB fundraisers for that semester. So what does it mean to be late? And I mean, to miss a meeting. Why would you get a miss one, give one? So there's multiple ways. If you, for some reason, cannot attend a meeting, which happens, you need to follow through with proper rescheduling protocols. So that means contacting the people that would be in the meeting. So let's say you're a PR intern and you need to reschedule your meeting. You contact everyone on the PR team, and then you would contact me, your supervisor, and tell me, hey, Tati, I, for whatever reason, cannot attend our meeting this week. And I've talked to the team. We can reschedule on Tuesday from between 7 and 9 or Wednesday, giving me options as to when we can reschedule, because just like we don't want to be wasting your time, when we have to do 2 meetings, that is taking up double the time for us, and we would be repeating the same thing in both meetings, basically. So we ask that if you are going to need to reschedule, you try and reschedule with your entire team. And we ask that you do this, like sending that information to your supervisor 48 hours at the minimum before your regular meeting time. We have set this time apart. We all have busy schedules, so 48 hours will at least give everyone time to move things around if needed. And an important thing to consider is if you are more than 15 minutes late to a meeting twice, which means you're basically missed 30 minutes, which is a full meeting, the same consequences apply. We start meetings right on time. It's a lot better for us to start, if we're starting at 7, we start at 7, end at 7:30, that's it. We've completed what we needed to do. Then waiting until 7:10 because someone couldn't sign on or something like that. It's much more efficient when we all get on time and get started. And something to consider if your supervisor has multiple meetings, at least for me, I like to schedule them all on the same day. So a lot of times I will have back-to-back meetings. So if you're late, you're just cutting your meeting time and we're not going to be able to discuss everything because I'm not going to be late to the next person's meeting. And for you guys to know, this rescheduling would not have consequences if you do it correctly, but you are allowed only 4 reschedules for the semester. After that, it's automatically a miss one, give one. And like Andrea said, there will be, extenuating circumstances. If you have an exam, just follow the rescheduling policy and that's fine. It will count as one of your reschedules. And the reason we have this rescheduling thing is because we don't want to have to say that's a good excuse, that's not a good excuse. You just have 4 independent of the reason. If there is something that happens, like God forbid a death in the family or something like that, and you can't give us a 48-hour notice, we just ask that you try and tell us as soon as you can or just keep us informed if possible. But there obviously will not be negative consequences for something like that. And if you guys read that little blurb at the top of the teams for the team biweeklies, it does say that the same consequences apply for missing a biweekly meeting as if you had missed a weekly meeting. So I would recommend that you guys start contacting each other early to set up your biweekly for that week. So you guys saw the schedule. That schedule is not very likely to change. So you know from now when every single biweekly will be for the semester. So there's really no reason that you guys shouldn't be able to schedule these. And you have an entire week to do them. You just need to meet for 30 minutes and send in the minutes. If you've been contacting someone on their team and they're not responding, my recommendation to you is do the meeting and they will get the consequences, because if you guys don't do the meeting because someone wasn't responding, everyone is getting a miss one, give one. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. So you go on to more not so fun stuff, but if you do, there are multiple reasons for getting a strike, but going off of what we were talking about earlier, if you just completely miss a meeting and really there are no good excuses at that time, like, oh, I forgot, or oh, I was showering, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter, you missed it. And at that point, it would be a strike, but missing a meeting is a strike and a miss one, give one. So it's basically a miss one, give one strike. So you have 3 strikes in the semester. Well, I mean, you can get up to 3 strikes, and at the 3rd one, you are let go. And the first one is just, you're going to receive an email stating what the issue was and how you can rectify it. And then after that, you have a suspension or probation at the discretion of your supervisor and the executive director. And then at the 3rd strike, we will ask you to leave your internship. So for you guys to know, what are some reasons for getting a strike? Missing a deadline, when you don't complete tasks, and this can include things like, let's say you're writing a grant and you have a meeting every Wednesday. If you keep not doing work for an entire week and then Wednesday right before you put a million comments on the grant that you wanted me to review before the meeting, that's not doing your tasks to the full extent that they were meant to be done. So that would be considered not completing your tasks properly. So, lack of communication, if you're just kind of fall off the face of the earth and I have no idea what's going on, I don't know if you're okay, if you're not okay, if you're able to work, if you're not able to work. It's really important that you stay in constant communication with your team and with your supervisor. It's better to text too much than not enough. Or to being too much communication than not enough communication. And for missing any mandatory events and all strikes, the decisions will be made at the discretion of your supervisor and the executive director. Do you guys have any questions about the strikes? Okay. So another component to your internship is Google Classroom. If you're not familiar with this, it's very similar to taking an online class. So it's like Canvas, I'm not sure what other schools use, or like Blackboard or something like that. So you go on, there's going to be an assignment that goes up every Monday. You have until that Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to turn it in. And late submissions will not be accepted. And you will get, just like you mentioned before, this is a task. If you don't complete it, it's a strike. And there may be other positions that use Google Classrooms for other things, but you will have an assignment every single week, and it goes up on Monday, due on Sunday. Put that in your brain, put that in your calendar, whatever works for you, because probably maybe for this first week, I'll send a reminder for Google Classrooms and for your bi-weeklies. After that, it's on you to be looking at that calendar to know that every single Sunday you're going to have a Google Classroom assignment due. It's not our responsibility to remind you. It's your responsibility to remember and to know what your tasks are. Okay? And they're going to be assignments on like professional development. There's a bunch of different topics. So I think they're very interesting and beneficial to all of you. Okay. So last little tidbit about the volunteer internship program. We do have a trial period, and I'll let you guys read through this really quickly. I'll give you about a minute, like 30 seconds, read through it. Make sure you acknowledge this trial period. Alrighty, so basically in 3 weeks, we decide whether you're a good fit for us and you decide whether we're a good fit for you. At that point, no hard feeling from either from us or from you. You can say, hey, I think, maybe it's your class schedule with this is too much, or this was different from what you expected. You let us know that you don't want to continue with the internship. Just like if we don't really think your work ethic, your professionalism doesn't necessarily, or just your knowledge at this point doesn't fit what we need for our organization right now, then we would ask you to not continue. Okay? So, quick question for all of you guys. How many strikes until your internship is terminated, and how long is the trial period? Anybody unmute yourself and say the answer.
Good. How many?
If you said something, I didn't hear you.
You said 3 strikes and a 3-week trial period.
Perfect. Yep. Like in baseball, 3 strikes, you're out. Okay. Now we'll go into communication. As you guys can imagine, with a virtual internship, communication is so important. We could literally talk hours just about how important communication is. If there's anything I want you to get out of today, it's you need to stay in contact with your team, with your supervisor, and stay on top of your tasks, which involves being up to date with any communication. So our objective for this internship is we want it to be an environment that communication is a tool rather than an obstacle for everyone involved in our organization. Most of our internship is virtual, which can be either very positive for some people or a bit of an obstacle for others. But if you're in communication with us, if you ask us questions, we can get you over that and make it a tool for you. So, what are some of our expectations for you? We really don't accept excuses, and obviously there will be exceptions. But deadlines need to be met. I use this example every time because it's not to pick on graphic designers, but it does happen, and it's the most realistic example I can give you guys. If a graphic request is sent in to the graphic team and it was requested, I don't know, let's say for Tuesday, and they don't turn it in until Friday, then PR would get that graphic Friday and probably not be able to start promoting until maybe Friday if they're really on top of everything, if not probably Saturday or later. And then at that point, a lot of people are not going to sign up for an event on the weekend. Then we start into the following week, and the event is already 2 or 3 days away. And then that graphic also goes into the MailChimp that all the community outreach interns send out to recruit volunteers. So then they wouldn't be able to send that out to recruit volunteers until they receive it. And these deadlines are put on there for a reason. I understand if there might be some miscommunication and a deadline is put way too close or there's a lot of things going on. That's what I mean by talk to your supervisors, talk to me, let me know, hey, Tate, we have like 5 graphics in right now. I don't think we're going to be able to get the 6th one that just came in by the deadline. Then we all talk about it and we find a solution. Okay? So we can talk about it and figure things out if something comes up. If you have overwhelming CBOB work, every now and then we'll accept, oh, I have so much homework, can someone else on the team help me? But part of this internship is learning to balance your personal life, your school life, and your professional life. So all in all, no excuses because there are other people waiting on what you are, the tasks that you're completing and the products and projects that you're putting out. We look for people that are self-motivated. Like I've said, we want you guys to come up to us with ideas and be like, hey, I really want to use this new program that I found out about. That's happened multiple times. So definitely come up with, if you've used things, if you think we could do something better, tell us. We're more than happy to try it out. And I can tell you, if you're one of those really self-motivated people that's always coming to us on top of your tasks, I'd be so happy to write you a great letter of recommendation. Unfortunately, that is what we can offer you. I'd love to offer you a bunch of money, but I can't. We do expect you to do weekly updates with your supervisor. It's very important that you are in communication with your supervisor, which I'm going to say another 1,000,000 times after this. But if we're aware of what you're doing, if we're aware that you're having difficulties or whatever the case is, if we know where you are and if you're asking us for feedback and asking us questions, more than just at your weekly meetings, you're going to get a lot more done and you're going to get a lot more out of the internship. If you only talk to us at our weekly meetings, I can almost guarantee it's going to be really hard for you to excel during the internship because you need a lot more than just talking for half an hour. And you also need to communicate with other interns. Other interns are going to be much more involved in different aspects. Like our event manager is going to be super into Gala and everything that's going on for Gala. If you are a PR intern that's going to be promoting Gala, go talk to the event manager. They're going to be able to give you so much information about it. It's important for you to be in communication with everybody and be able to help each other out and use the specific knowledge that you have to help the other interns that might not be as involved in certain aspects of CBOB. And we also ask that you have mutual respect for time and work. What that means is, acknowledge that, for example, the graphic designers are going to need time to create a graphic. So don't give them a deadline that's the next day, because that's not respecting how much time they're going to need to put into a graphic if they want it to be a quality graphic. And Also respecting people's work. While you might have done something differently, or you might have, preferred a different method, then you can discuss it, bring up suggestions, but always maintaining that level of respect. And just to throw in for the respect for time, we do tell you, you can email us, you can text us, you can call us, we will do Google Hangouts, there's GroupMe. Just, give people some time to answer. Not everyone will be able to answer immediately. A lot of you, if not all of you, are students and currently taking classes, and you might not be able to answer if you're in class or if you're taking an exam, something like that. There are reasons for people to not answer. So something to make everyone's lives a little bit easier is for internal email communication. We do have subject lines that we use. So just kind of starting at the beginning of the subject line, action required, FYI, agenda, and save the date. So action required is, if you fail to reply within 48 hours, you might get a strike for it. We do, often you need to do something within a certain period of time or within a certain deadline for a reason. So that's why as soon as you see that action required, you should be like, I need to get to this email as soon as I get a chance. And if you're the one sending this email, be specific. If you're going to put action required on there, say, I need you to reply, or I need you to do X, Y, and Z by 5 p.m. on Thursday, May 12th, or something like that. Give them very clear guidelines of what you need and when you need it by. And FYI, you might get these sometimes just sharing information with you. So something that's, maybe it's an event that's happening, or someone found a cool article that is related to social justice or something like that, related to our mission, and they want to share it with all of you. Then you just put FYI, and this way we're kind of almost categorizing your email for you, and you see it and you're like, okay, I want to get to that, but I'm going to look at all the action required first. Agenda, these are things that you're going to have before a meeting. Most of the supervisors have moved to having the agenda on a Google Doc, and the Google Doc is linked to the calendar events. So maybe the first 1 or 2 times they'll email it, but after that you have access to it. Like you'll always have access to it. So you just go ahead and open it, and we expect you to know that you can just go in, you look at what you have to do. And just so that you guys know, we'll talk about it in a second, but all of your deadlines are basically set through your agenda from after the post-orientation tasks. They will be set through your agendas. And then you have save the date. That's another one, like for an event, for example, for the retreat, a save the date was sent out, letting people know what's happening, and we'll probably be getting one soon for Gala. And just so that you guys know, I don't think we've discussed this yet, but I will in a second. Interns at chbob.org sends it to every single intern in CBOB at the moment. So if you need to send to the 20 some of us, you just go ahead and put interns at chbob.org, and you don't even have to think about it. There's quite a few different emails. So continuing off of communication, you guys hopefully have all seen that we have a GroupMe, and you've all been added. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, text me or email me after, and we'll make sure to add you to the GroupMe or help you figure out any issues that you're having. But this is a great way to send reminders, to talk to your team, find out general information like, hey, who do I contact about the UF event that's happening next Saturday that the chapter's putting on. And then probably the student chapter coordinator will respond and tell you who to get in contact with. So it's a great way if you have any questions for the whole team, if you just want to share information. A lot of times people will put like the links to the free Chipotle chips and stuff like that. But if you have something important to share, like for example, the save the date for Gala, 100% send it first to interns@chbob.org through email, and then feel free to put anything on GroupMe. it has happened before that a great example is you need quotes for a blog and you want to get quotes from your team, which is great, but you need to send that first in an email and then in GroupMe, because I can almost guarantee if there's like 5 people responding, by the time someone that was in class goes to open GroupMe, there's probably like 20 messages, and by then they probably missed what you asked for or any instructions that there were. And you can always utilize the calendar that's on GroupMe to, if you want to use it for your bi-weeklies or anything like that, which, before I say that, I should say, there are GroupMes for the specific teams, which you will be added to after orientation. So you can definitely, on those smaller GroupMe groups, you can put the meeting, and it'll put a reminder there for everybody for your bi-weeklies. If you want to put it there for your weeklies, you're welcome to do that. You also have a Google Calendar that you can always use. Okay, and then social media, we just ask that you try and show some love to our social media. So if you haven't already, please like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter, and you can follow us on Instagram too. So, and there's also separate accounts for UF, FSU, UCF. So if you want to follow them too, I would recommend it. But for the organization, it is I am CBOB. So, and whenever we have events, like big events, we will ask you to put the graphic as your profile picture, or you can put it as a cover photo. We tend to make both. And this way, for Gala, for example, maybe your friends will see it and be like, hey, what's that event? Can I go with you, or something like that? We do ask that we understand that you may not want CBOB to be all of your social media, so we just ask that you share or retweet or repost at least 2 CBOB posts a month, and that way we can increase our exposure. And just in general, show love to the post. Like I said, like our posts, tell your friends, share it with your friends if you don't want to post it on your own page. That way we can increase the amount of people that we have behind our mission, and that can hopefully also translate into being able to serve more children, both locally and abroad. Okay. So, where is the first place that you should send important information? If someone at UF is talking, I can't hear you because it's muted. Come on, guys, you know the answer.
I can go interns at chbob.org.
Correct. First, send an email. It might not always be to interns at chbob.org, but if it is for the whole team, that's exactly where you send it. But always email first, and then you can send anything you want in GroupMe as long as the email has been sent first. And since we're talking about emails, we'll go into the perfect email. So we have a little acronym, RAFS. Be respectful, appropriate, friendly, timely, short, and concise. And respectful, obviously, for obvious reasons. You want to represent the organization well. You want to be appropriate, so you always want to introduce yourself, and you want to speak properly, and you might interact slightly differently with different people. Like you might email your fellow intern or your supervisor slightly different than you would a doctor that you're trying to get to, or maybe a dentist that you're trying to get to sponsor or attend the mobile clinic. So definitely make it appropriate to the person that you're contacting. You always want to be friendly, be nice to them and make them want to learn more about our organization, and timely. So something I always recommend is if you're emailing somebody outside our organization, while you guys are virtual and can work anytime you want, and within the organization, I don't care if you send emails at 3 or 4 a.m., which, believe me, happens more than you would think. just outside of the organization, try and keep it during regular business hours. There might be different circumstances that it doesn't have to be, but in general, try and keep it that way if you're contacting someone outside the organization. And be aware that if you email someone outside the organization or even within the organization during the weekend, you're gonna have to give extra time for people to answer. And short and concise, if you write like a novel in your email, I can almost 100% guarantee they're not gonna read it. How do I know? Because I send emails to interns, I put in a little thing in the middle, and no one sent anything back because they didn't even read the whole thing. But unfortunately, I do have to send long emails every now and then. But from experience, I'm telling you guys, keep it short and concise. They're not going to read the whole thing, especially because, you guys should want to read the whole thing because you're doing an internship, you're trying to get something out of it. If you're contacting a sponsor or something like that, you need to engage them with that email as opposed to, they're not getting anything out of it just by opening your email. You need to tell them why they are going to get something out of it eventually. And really important, always copy your supervisors in your emails. So whether it's, if you know it's going to be a long thread, you can forward it to your supervisor at the end. Or you can, if you know, for example, I keep thinking of the mobile clinic. Like if you wanted to contact someone to donate over-the-counter medicine. So it's just probably going to be one email, and then they're going to respond saying, yes, we can give you this much, or no, we're really sorry, whatever. So just copy your supervisor in that first email so that your supervisor is aware that you're following through with your tasks and which tasks you have completed. And it's also good for us to see how you're communicating with them and if there's any feedback we can provide. So just to give you guys an example, something that would be kind of off of the raft would be, hello, Pita Pit people. We wanted to see if you guys would be down to do a fundraiser with us. It would be for us to get money for our organization. The money goes to our kids in Colombia, Nicaragua, abbreviated, who need the money for school and housing. We let you have a cut. How about this weekend? Thanks a bunch, Tati. That is not how you should ever communicate with a potential sponsor or really anybody that you're contacting with your CBOB email. If you want to do this on your personal email, that's your own prerogative. But for us, please be very professional in your emails. And while you guys are more than welcome to call me Tati, everyone calls me Tati, that's not how I'm going to email somebody when it's in a professional setting. This is an example of what would be correct. So to whom it may concern, my name is Tatiana, and I work with a nonprofit organization named Children Beyond Our Borders. We are potentially looking into doing a fundraiser for one of our programs with your company. If this is something you would be interested in, please let us know. Thank you for your time, and then the signature. I always recommend that you guys introduce yourselves and say who you work for, because if they have to read through the entire email and then look at your signature to figure out who they're talking to and who this person works for, it's a little too late. So definitely try and start with that information so that they know right off the bat what they're reading. And now we're going to talk about the email signature, because it's a pretty important component. So this is my email signature. You guys are welcome to use it, copy it and put your own information. So what it should include, like the requirements for it, it has to have your name / names. If you are sharing an email with somebody, which some of you are, put both of your names, and then when you send the email, just sign with your name. So it can say, Lei Jing and Casey, and then at top, Casey, when she sends the email. And then put Children Beyond Our Borders, Inc., and you want to put your position and a way to reach you. So you don't have to put your phone number. I choose to do that because, as you guys saw, I email all of the potential VIP interns, and I've gotten multiple calls and whatnot with questions, so I choose to have it. But at least put your email on there. And for all of you guys to know, you can use Tati@chbob.org or operationsdirector@chbob.org. I will get both. And I also recommend including our website and our Facebook page. I will fix that link because now I don't think it's linked right now. And like I said, your phone number is your choice. But I do recommend having the website and the Facebook page. That way, if they're like, what is this Children Beyond Our Borders thing? They can easily find it without having to go out of their way. Okay. And then how do you guys do this? So this is what your email is going to look like. And you're going to go to the settings and then scroll down to the signature to add or edit the signature. And oops, that's the information that I have. You're welcome to have slightly different, but this is in general what it should look like. Okay. If you have any questions doing this, please let me know. But so that you guys know, as of right now, probably all the emails have past interns on them. So you're going to have to change it from somebody else's. Okay. So just make sure you introduce yourself to your team, you talk to your team, so that you can know if that person that's on there is a new intern that already changed it or a past intern. Okay. So just a quick recap on all the things that we talked about Google, which is our biggest platform that we use for the virtual aspect of the internship. Always give, did I talk about this somewhere? Well, either way, always give your supervisor edit access to a document you create. So, when you open up your Google Drive, you just put the little plus button, make sure to send edit access. Multiple times I've been sent documents with view access only. I find typos, I find things that I can correct, improve. I can't do anything until you give me edit access. And all your supervisors are pretty busy, so it saves us a lot of time if once we're able to open the email and get to it, that we actually are able to do the work rather than just look at the document. Okay? And a lot of times we'll put suggestions. We won't actually make the edits for you so you can learn from it, but you also have to give us access to be able to do things like that. So the weekly meetings will be on your agendas, on your calendar, and the agenda will be on that as well. So you can always find it there. There's no reason you should say, oh, I had no idea where the agenda was, so that's why I didn't do that task. And you can join, I think this switched and is not supposed to be here. I have not talked about half of this stuff. In any case, we'll talk about it in a second. And you can join weekly meetings with just the name of the Google Hangouts. So I'm not always going to send out a link like I did today. I did that because you're just starting with Google. You might have not used this before. Some of you have, some of you haven't. This is probably, at least if you're on my team, the only time I'm probably going to send a link. Because from here on out, you're going to have it on the calendar. You can put in the name. I name it after the position. So, events or health, something like that. And you can literally type that in and you'll join the call. Or you can always follow the link that's in the Google Calendar event. And always copy your supervisor in any important email correspondence. And like I said, it can either be at the beginning if you know it's going to be a short thread, or at the end if you know it's going to be a longer one. So Google Hangouts, like I said, this is probably what it'll look like, and you'll go to the video call, and it should just pop up on there. That's how it works for me. I'm sure that's how it works for all of you guys, and you'll automatically just join the call that's on your calendar. It's very simple. I understand if you guys have issues right at the beginning of the internship, but if we're weeks out and you're still asking for a link, you need to go watch a tutorial or something, because it's pretty user-friendly in my opinion anyways. But you can always type it in, or you can just click it. And like I said, do not expect either an email or the link every single time. We've put it so that you can easily get to it. So we shouldn't be needing to send all of that. So this is what your Google Drive should look like with some minor changes. If it looks nothing like this, let me know. And you might have a new email and we need to add some things to your drive. But in general, this is what it should look like. And And as you guys can see, there's an official logo drive. You guys have the branding. You guys have access to high resolution logos. I should never see whether you're a PR intern or a community outreach intern, doesn't matter. I should never see pixelated logos or anything like that because you guys have in your drives the high resolution ones, and there's no reason for us to see pixelated ones when we've provided them to you. Okay. And really important, document naming. Your drive might look very nice like that. If you look at Andrea and my drive or any of your supervisors, we have a lot of stuff in there and multiple folders. So if you tell me, hey, it's on the drive, it's going to take me a while to find, or I might not even be able to find it at all. So make sure you name all your documents in this way. So you put the program name, then a little line, the title of the document, city, if applicable, and then the month it was created and year. So you can see, like, for orientation, it says VIP orientation 0117. And it's okay if you make edits after that, but it's just when this was created. And it just makes it a lot easier for all of us to find, because while it might be really easy for you to find a document when you first make it, if you want to refer to it later, or I'm trying to find it, or one of the supervisors trying to find it, it's much easier if you have it named like this. Okay. And make sure you make it like, well, it's like for PR, for example, if you just put PR blog 0217, okay, great. We have like probably 100 blogs in our drive right now. You need to be a little bit more specific than that so that we're able to find it. Okay. So another checkpoint question. What type of access should your supervisor have to all of your documents?
Editing access.
Yes. That's really important, guys. I don't know how many times I've had to text or email back and be like, hey, can you please give me edit access? I can't do anything. So we're rounding out to the end just to give you guys a little idea of some of our goals. Gala is going to be something you guys hear about over and over again. To give you a quick little snippet of what it is, it's one of our biggest fundraisers, and it's normally in Orlando, and it's, when people describe it, kind of like a CBOB prom, because you wear like a long dress, and there's, you know, we kind of look back on what we've accomplished, and we recognize you know, the people that have been instrumental in getting us there, and the people that have really excelled in their positions, or in whatever you know, role they have within CBOB. And here at the bottom is our scholars again. I mean, they're older now. They look pretty young in some of these pictures. But this one right here at the end was the one that just graduated on May 5th. And I'm sure you're going to see more of him. I mean, they're all awesome, but Yossi's pretty cool because he also speaks English, and he's able to do also, he sends us videos that we post on our social media and stuff. Like, he gets a big following on all of our social media.
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
Yeah. So this is one of our beautiful cities that we go to, Medellin. But here we're going to go over a couple of things. We're going to have, you guys are going to all have tasks to complete upon finishing our orientation. And then I'm going to go through some of them, but just know that from here on out, your deadlines and your tasks are going to be set through your agendas. We're not going to be sending a task sheet like this every single time, but your agenda might look similar to this. So this is a list. At the beginning, the first page is something that every intern needs to do, independent of what position you're in. So read the one-on-one doc, you know, create the email signature, and be aware of the due dates. Not everything is due at the same time, and there are things due tomorrow. So get started already. It's not hard things, but definitely you want to get started. So, you know, just basic things. I do want to show you guys this, the HR contact information document. It has contact information for a lot of people that you guys will probably at some point need this document. So just kind of keep it in your back pocket and be aware that, see, there's so many, I can't even get to the bottom of it without it freaking out on me. But as you can see down here, you have the student chapters information and whatever. The last page is the student chapters information, and you can contact, for example, if you need to get in contact with the UF chapter president or just secretary, just community outreach. You have all this information, and you can go ahead and contact them. If you, I don't know, let's say you're doing an alumni blog, there's information here about people that have been involved in the past. So this is definitely something that you can use throughout your tasks. And here you also find your contact information for your teams, and there's more instructions on that on the doc. Okay. So one thing I do want to talk about is I'm asking that you guys send an email introducing yourself to the board of directors. Please be very professional. To give you an idea,
Send an email introducing directors. Please.
Sorry, I just heard really bad echo. So be very professional when you're sending this. To give you an idea, we have people working in huge companies, people like we have doctors and people that are very advanced in their field that have dedicated probably the little spare time they have to making CBOB great and do a lot for CBOB, and I respect all of them very much. I want this, I'm opening this to you because they have been where you were, and a lot of them might be in careers that you want to be in at some point. So it's a great connection for you to create. If you have any questions about that, if you want anyone to check it, that's fine. But please be very professional when you're sending this. Double check things, don't put any misspellings, stuff like that. And it's also good practice for when you contact sponsors or anything similar. Another important one is the PR requests and graphic requests. I'm sure many of you are going to be using these. You can even Google search CBOB PR request and this link will come up. So there's no reason you guys should tell me I have no idea how to submit a PR request, because you can literally find it by Google searching and it's on here. And I would recommend saving it somewhere. If you want to add this document to the top of your drive, whatever you want to do to make sure that you don't forget. And we will be putting up a Google Classroom activity. You guys should have all been added to the Google Classroom group for this semester. And just know that it is due this Sunday already. It is Mother's Day, so just plan accordingly and make sure that you get it in, even if you have plans for the weekend. Okay? And then there's position-specific activities, so make sure to go through all of that. If you do not have tasks on here, it's probably going to be the liaisons, because a lot of what you do is super specific to your chapter. If you have any questions, if you're not sure if you should or shouldn't have tasks, feel free to contact me. It's not a problem. And then on there, one of the tasks is the office hours, but I want to show it to you guys really quick. So this is the old document. Hold on, it's on here. Okay, computer's freezing. Okay, so this is the document with your office hours. I'll make sure to edit the one on the orientation slideshow as well. But This gives you an idea of what it can look like. These are the ones from the supervisors from past semesters. So you can look at them for examples. We will be editing them along with you guys. But here at the end, you will see duplicate this. Literally just go to that tiny arrow, put duplicate. Don't edit this one directly, just keep duplicating it and change the bottom to your name. So just there where it says rename, you would change it to your name once you've duplicated it and put your office hours on there. The reason we do this is because if for some reason, if we, various examples I can give. So if we need something and we're like, why isn't this person answering? We really need this information right now. That happens every now and then. We will go into your office hours and be like, oh, she's in class, that's why. So let's find a way to figure this out. But if we see that there's nothing, then we might keep trying and be like, hey, we really need your help to figure this out. And it also, for example, if you need to reschedule, sometimes you can look on all of your team's office hours and think, okay, I saw that all of us are free Tuesday from 7 to 8. Do you think we can tell Tati that time for the reschedule? So it's a good tool for everyone to use. And there's instructions on there, but make sure to include times when you're 100% not going to be available. So things like class, work, if you have another internship, or if you have volunteering, you're not allowed to have your phone on you, things like that, so that we're aware of it. You're more than welcome to add other things like when you will be working on CBOB or personal time, anything like that. You can, office hours, you can make your own. That's not a problem. Just make sure you have the times that you're 100% not available. So that is the bulk of what we're going to talk about today. Do you guys have any questions that I can answer? Now's a great time to ask questions because I'm sure if you have it, someone else does too.
While you guys think of questions, I just want to thank you, Tati, for your orientation. They used to be like 2.5 hours, guys. So the reason we created all those videos and gave you all the online training is because I know you don't want to be here for 3 hours with us. So thank you for keeping it under time. You did a wonderful job. Guys, this is the time to ask you questions. We will expect you to be on full force, and it's going to be a little overwhelming, but don't be afraid to speak up. I don't know if we're overwhelming you unless you tell us, and then we can guide you through the steps. And, there's returning interns here who can be your guide as well. Shayna, is there anything on your side? Any questions over there in that room? Oh.
I think we froze. I was going to say something and I forgot. Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions right now, that's okay. But if you think of any questions, this beginning of the internship, these next 1 to 2 weeks is a time to ask. It's better to feel confident after 2 weeks and ask all your questions, no matter how silly you think they might be, than not feel ready to take this on 3 weeks from now. It might be a lot at the beginning, and there, feel free to ask us anything. Like I've said before, a lot of us have been in our positions for multiple semesters, if not years. There are little details that sometimes we forget that not everyone knows because we've been doing it for so long. So sometimes it's just our bad that we might have not told you that or something like that. So feel free to ask those questions. That's what these first 1 to 2 weeks are. And then from there, we're really expecting you to make this position your own, to fulfill your role in CBOB and hit the ground running, be able to do all your tasks.
Go ahead and mute it.
So yeah, that's my little spiel.
Yeah, and to follow up on that, really try to do things really assign yourself. It's really easy to lose time managed because of a virtual internship. So really dedicate some time to take care of your emails every day. Some of those action requires are within 24 hours response, okay? Make sure you fill out your office hours. If every Friday night is date night and you don't want to be bothered, you better write it in, because I'm going to freak out if you're not answering me. But aside from that, you know, you're going to see that we're a really big family. Don't wait for something to go bad. We've probably been in your shoes when something's going wrong. So if you address it as soon as possible, we're able to give you resolutions, okay? Don't wait for you the day before the event to say you don't have volunteers. As soon as you see that you're struggling with recruiting, let us know and we'll find alternatives, okay? Don't wait until the day that you're supposed to post something on Facebook to tell us that your Facebook's not working or your phone fell in the toilet. You know, try to find alternatives to tell us, and we'll take over your post until you're able to get it together. So we're there for you, but it's really important that you communicate when you need us to be there for you.
And for you guys to know, I'm sure you'll see this more once we start our meetings, but we're happy to give you guys feedback, just like your team, I'm sure, will give you feedback. You can always send us things and be like, hey, am I on the right track? Is this what you were envisioning? Or, you know, any type of questions that you have, if you want some feedback midway, I mean, give us time to give you the feedback, but we're happy to do stuff like that. You know, it's this internship, since it is virtual, it really is, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. If you do the bare minimum, you're not really going to get much out of it. And it's going to be a waste of my time and your time. But if you put into it, bring new ideas, you know, come to the table ready to go, I think you're going to enjoy it, you're going to learn from it, and it's going to be a positive experience for you. Okay, so welcome to the family, everybody. That is it on my end. If you have any questions, you can always email me. Here, I should stop presenting so you can actually see me. You can always email me, text me, group me, whatever. I will tell you, with being on the CBOB, like an editor of the CBOB page, I get so many Facebook notifications. Facebook is probably the one I miss the most. So if you need to get in contact with me sooner, I would recommend any of the other modes of communication. But that's it for today. I will ask, if you are a PR intern, please stay for a second. I want to talk to you. It's literally going to take 2 minutes. Ready. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Are there any PR interns at UF? Just the one? There's 2 there, right? Okay, there we go. You guys are muted. Just unmute yourself.
Alrighty.
Okay. All right, guys. So you guys are one of the ones that you might feel like we're literally throwing you into this, because I mean, I'm not sure how any other PR internships you've had or not, but you guys will be running our social media. Your posts go on our page to our over 3,000 followers. Your work will literally be out there. So obviously, if you're not working, so CBOB social media ceases to exist for that day or however long. We did have our previous interns posting, but basically tomorrow, it's all yours already. So, I mean, the first post pretty much is the welcome to the interns. With the contract, I have everyone's pictures. You can see on the tasks, that is one of the first tasks. We normally couple that with a blog saying, you know, welcome, and getting blurbs from all the different interns saying, what they're looking forward to, what their goals are, stuff like that. But we are going to change things slightly this semester, so you're going to see this on the tasks too. But since Mother's Day is coming up, we want to do a Mother's Day blog this week. The way our blogs work, on Wednesday, we ask that you send us your draft, and then we provide feedback. Thursday, you have to put in that feedback, and Friday, you post it on our website. And then you post a social media post saying, go read our blog, something like that. So since that Mother's Day is this coming weekend, we wanted to post it on Friday because Friday is every time that we post a blog. So we're moving that welcome to the interns to the week after that. But I'm telling you guys now, because whoever's doing that, you want to get the blogs sound a lot better and are a lot more entertaining when you get, actual information from people, get quotes from people. So you can start from now, getting like what they're looking forward to. In a week, you can ask like, what do they think so far? To be able to start working on that blog. So those are the couple of things that we already need to get started on. If you haven't, I know I got some requests right before orientation started. I haven't looked at, but if you haven't already added me on Facebook, please do it. It's just Tati Boss, and I'm like on a mountain with my hands up in the air. But I will add you as an admin to our Facebook page, but I need to be friends with you to be able to add you to that. And you'll have access to all that. We'll talk more about it at our weekly meetings. But there's already a lot that we need to work on, so definitely look at the orientation tasks. If you guys want to, just let me know who wants to do that post for the welcome to the interns. You can, like I've said a million times probably today, you can go with it how you want. So do you want to get everyone's major and a little blurb about what they'd like or something like that? You're going to have to probably get everyone to send you that by tomorrow morning, or like tomorrow afternoon. So if you want to do stuff like that, I think that'd be awesome. We have everyone's pictures. We should have everyone's pictures. Some people will be sending it to me. They should be sending it to me after orientation if they didn't have a professional picture at the moment. But we should have with everyone's contract that picture that you can use. Okay?
Alrighty.
Can I add something? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, will we have access to Google Classroom without our emails?
Oh, that was the main thing I need to talk to you guys about. So I did get Karen's, is that how you say your name, Karen? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. Making sure. I got her categories, but I haven't received both of your categories. That was part of the training that you guys did. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just go back to your training. There is a document called PR categories. And basically your email is going to correspond. Like I would like for you literally to text me that or email me that within the next like 30 minutes. That way I can give you access to your emails, because what it's going to be is like prcwob@chbob.org or prvip@chbob.org. There are 3 of you, so one of you will, or maybe multiple of you will have more than one program that you will be posting about, but we will give you an email that corresponds with one of those, and the other would probably be an alias. But that's why you guys haven't gotten an email yet, because I want you guys to get the one that you want to be posting about. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
All I was gonna say is you guys, I think, have the most intensive training. So if you skip through all those videos, I will know from tomorrow. Even if you don't know how to use it or you're not very comfortable with Canva, Canva is going to be your new best friend, okay? I swear to God, you're going to fall in love with this thing. And we paid for the work one. And I paid for it on my personal because I make my wedding invitations. I've done everything on that thing. So you're going to love it. You're going to be able to stay within the brand, okay? You're going to be able to stay within the colors, the right logos, right? So you won't have any issues with any blurry. Canva is your new best friend. How to post the blog. If you didn't watch that video, there's a video exactly on how you're going to post the blog come Friday morning, okay? As always, if you're encountering problems and don't wait till after 5 hours. I promise I watched the video and I just spent 5 hours doing it. No, text me as soon as you know, whatever. At least I'll know you attempted it. Okay, we'll help you along the way, but make sure you watch it because it is fairly simple to use weekly. Obviously Facebook, I made you guys download the Facebook app, the Instagram, and Facebook pages, which is how you do actual pages, and Hootsuite. Okay, Hootsuite is a little bit thing, and you'll learn about more this week. I can help Tati with the first weekly or something, and we can go into Hootsuite. Because Tati, you know how we had some trouble with the Instagram and stuff?
Yeah.
It would be better if it goes attached to someone else. Because you can sync it with someone else's app. It's just always been synced to mine.
Okay.
But at the same time, that's how I'm able to catch those mistakes. Because I'm like, I immediately view it. So we can talk about it in our first weekly.
Yeah.
But as long as you have those apps and get acquainted with everything that Tati said, you'll be set. And feel free to use